Welcome back. Welcome back. You already know what it is. So I'm on my way home listening to this video that I'm about to put out, right? And it's another reading. And it's about a couple, I guess, going through some things. And they're about to, it's about to be over. Because it's breakup season. Most people don't get it. It's going to be breakup season for a long time. And because, just like I said in the video, truths are coming out whether people like it or not. Either your person's going to figure out you don't love them, or they're going to figure out they don't love you, or they're going to catch you. Now, the phone thing is one thing, that shit is on fire right now. Multiple people are getting caught because they're so stupid enough to, use their phone to cheat, which is, I don't even fucking get it. I don't get the balls on people to really message things. Like, you can't look up phone records. And that's it. Like, you can't locations. And, I remember when I first started hearing about the location thing. Women were tricking dudes, or men were tricking women. And, yeah, I'll buy your phone. We're going to get on a payment plan. And next thing you know, they know everywhere your ass is at. You don't even understand why. Because they got your location. They can turn your location on. They can call the company and say, I want to know where the fuck my other phone is. I lost it. Turn the location on. They could say anything. And since they're the owner, it's getting turned on. Or, just turn it on yourself while you're distracted and you don't know. All these different things, right? Now it's getting to the point where that's obsolete because, people are catching people and FaceTiming dudes, women doing things. The people they're cheating with are exposing things. All these, it's just that thing, right? So just recently, I don't know if I put it on here, I doubt it. I was looking up this new technology. Well, it's not new. They've been developing this technology for a while of mind reading. Basically, people are going to be able to be Professor X. You know how he put that helmet on his head and it amplified his power so he could literally Professor X everyone in the whole world? Well, they're making that, but you don't have mutant powers. Your intuition is shit. So you're gonna need it. You can't tell the signs. Pardon me. So, it's getting harder and harder to be a scumbag. And unfortunately, I don't like that. I know that sounds very strange coming from a man of God that only wants people to tell the truth, but privacy is privacy, where is if this shit comes out, because, they're already in head of things. If they're talking about making it for regular people, that means they got it already. The military tells shit like that all the time, that, we make our technology first, we gotta test it, make it safe, and then, think about how crazy and stupid people really are. Because if they use it for the wrong purposes, we have to be able to stop them. You know what I mean? A lot of people get this, oh, they're not sharing technology with us. You're idiots. You're fucking idiots. Not all of you, but there's a lot of idiots that would destroy your life with the power of Professor X. You fucking kidding me, bro? You know how dangerous that is? But let's stick to the cheating. How fast are women going to start going to that? A lie detector's test, one thing. If she can slip on headgear and read your mind, that's It's going to be dangerous for a lot of you. Now, that just means dudes are going to just be ratting on themselves. Women are going to rat on themselves, you know? Because if people are willing to text people that what they're doing and talk about it with people that potentially may tell on them, it shows the ignorance. Damn, that just made me lose my point. I know I was saying something. Anyway, be good to people at the stores and stuff, you know? You get little perks and stuff. Well, at least I do. I don't know. Because me and this guy be chopping it up every now and again. And he just... See, ladies, you can dress up and still look good and not look like you know, like you're about to go to a music video. Your body still be a little revealing, but it's covered up. So there's no excuses. It's too hot. It's too cold. Stop. Anyway, so I go in the store to get my normal whatever, and he's packing stuff away. And I noticed my chips aren't there, so I just go get a regular whatever. And because he knows what I like, and I guess I'm cool with him in some type of way, he decided to go in the box and be like, nah, here, get these. I know you like those. Well, he didn't say it. He just went and grabbed it, went behind the counter, you know, because he already knew what time it was. Anyway. I suggest some people start telling the truth, you know? Face your karma now. You actually don't know what the person will actually do. Talk to many women that eventually figured out their man was lying. Or women, same thing. Man figured out you was lying. And they all said the same thing. Not every single one of them. But if they would have just told me, I could have forgave them. The fact that I had to find out from someone else is why I'm so mad. Because now it's not in-house anymore. Now it's outside. And now I'm embarrassed as a man or a woman. See, that's what allows certain people to, you know, make mistakes in the world and be forgiven by their spouse, because they keep everything in-house. It's not no one else's fucking business. You know, like Jay-Z and them, you know, like how it already happened. Nobody really found out until somebody was throwing punches at him. Get it? Somebody else was stirring up the hornet's nest, when obviously they moved past it or were working on it, because they're still together. And what did every woman in the world think was going to happen? When it first happened, oh, she gonna leave him, I'm a survivor, I'm a blah 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 blah. Right? Oh, my finger ladies, oh, my finger ladies. Y'all thought she was just gonna... She don't need him, she got all that money, she did. Y'all didn't encounter the whole fact of she actually might be in love with this man. You know? She actually may do better with him, even if she doesn't love him. You know? Yeah, her career is up there, but he's a man. You know how you always say male chauvinism and day. You the fuck do you think he's doing? You think he's behind the scenes just doing nothing? The nigga called himself Hova, for crying out loud. Oh yeah, I forgot. You think gods sit behind the scenes on fucking mountaintops and they do absolutely nothing. Someone else does the thinking and the work and the agreements and the... No, motherfucker, no. This is why smart women prop certain men up. That's why that has happened in history. Because they can't go and be, because they're a woman. So what do? They find a man and they say, I'm going to make you be what I want to be. And then you're going to push what I need pushed. And then I'm going to get what the fuck I want through you. You just don't understand that. You know, they're not going to teach you that things. You actually might pick a man. Sound the horns. My daddy's in the building. Anyway, I'm going to pause it real quick so hopefully I can find this. Sound the horns. That didn't take long.
People have been dreaming about reading minds for ages. Psychics, magicians, mentalists, employing all kinds of fakery to get attention. Mind reading is no longer a fantasy. We can actually do that now, and the secret sauce is artificial intelligence.
New research shows that the tech can help read people's private thoughts.
Researchers have used AI to translate brain scans into text and turn it into what looks like inner dialogue.
I worry that there's a future that we're just not
This video's from a year ago.
ready for.
This is an image of a giraffe that the computer has never seen, and this is what the computer thinks the human is seeing. Yeah, so our thoughts are starting to be decoded.
Welcome to the fascinating and slightly scary world of brain-computer interfaces. The prehistory of real mind reading started over 100 years ago when people discovered a thing called brainwaves. Well,
If you believe that, you're a fucking idiot. What do you think being a detective is? What do you think being a philosopher is? Figuring things out. Eventually it gets to, how do I figure out what's in that person's head? Because they're not going to tell me. What do you think body language and all these books on things got created for? Because people didn't realize people are liars. People have always wanted to know the truth. And because my Lord gave us free will and the privacy to not have you in my brain, you gotta trust me. If you don't know how to trust people because of you were taught wrong, you'll keep trusting the wrong people. But you know, we are where we are.
they aren't really waves in a literal sense. They are ripples in the electrical field created by your nervous system. For a very long time, nobody really knew how to read those signals or even what they could do. But then, several inventions allowed us to understand them better. And one of those inventions was EEGs.
EEG stands for electroencephalograph, and what it's basically doing is measuring the brain waves that your brain is putting out. When the neurons in your brain spark, an electroencephalograph can pick up the frequency with which they are firing. It measures that electric potential in the brain, and that creates a brain wave pattern that it can measure there.
Now we could see the brain in action, tides and flows of electricity pulsing within the skull. Creating software that would react to those pulses was only a matter of time. And this is how the first brain-computer interfaces were born. Simple thoughts, such as yes and no, up and down, left and right, clear and primitive patterns your brain uses daily and is extremely apt at reproducing. It became a godsend for paralyzed people. However, getting further than that is very difficult. Brainwaves are incredibly weak. An electric field created by an outlet on your wall is orders of magnitude more powerful than the one created by neurons in your head. Also, before reaching a sensor, the waves have to pass through layers of tissue, bone, and skin. If only there was a way to get inside people's heads.
I see a spirit.
New Airwick Advanced plugin with anti-fading technology for fragrance your
Bone and skin. If only there was a way to get inside people's heads.
I see a spirit.
The MRI machine reveals the fibers which carry all the brain's thought processes.
It's an imaging technology that allows us to see inside patients and make diagnoses without ever having to do anything invasive.
MRI technology, magnetic resonance imaging technology, looks at oxygen flow in the brain, with the idea being that blood carries oxygen. So as blood is going to different parts of the brain, oxygen's going to different parts of the brain, and that is indicative of brain activity.
In recent years, this method was used to read words and entire images from people's minds, but it's not particularly efficient since there are no pocket-sized MRI machines, and a special algorithm has to be trained on a person for a long time before it's able to read anything. Of course, when we're talking about getting into people's heads, there's always the straightforward way. Measuring brain activity directly with electrodes put under the skin or skull is much more efficient. These BCIs are labeled as invasive, and while they require surgery, the results they demonstrate are by far the most impressive.
We're basically using a computer to read Keith's thoughts and then translate that into a machine that then stimulates his hand.
People have been able to control limbs, feel touch, and manipulate objects in virtual space, all thanks to the skull no longer blocking their brainwaves. Elon Musk's Neuralink, probably the best-known BCI startup, is also banking on the invasive technology. And while in many aspects this technology is not that different from regular EEGs, the advantage of being closer to the source of the brainwaves is undeniable. All three of these ways of interfacing have their pros and cons, and all are good at accomplishing certain tasks while being practically useless for others. However, all
Can you see the matrix yet? Can you see we're tapping in? You get it? Like, there are people that want it. I guess there's people that need it, you know? Where this goes, I don't know.
all of them have a common denominator: artificial intelligence. On their own, brainwaves are practically unintelligible. There's no map or chart showing what each impulse could mean. In essence, they're like a merely audible echo of your brain talking to itself. Fortunately, deciphering languages we don't understand is a cakewalk for artificial intelligence.
So I think the main technologies that have contributed to the current rise in brain-computer interfaces is really the convergence of two different kinds of technology. On the one hand, it's medical devices that have always been used to try and measure aspects of the brain and brain activity. And on the other hand is the rise in artificial intelligence that can be used to process the signals from those devices.
The simplest way, and the way most BCIs operate, is to show an AI a lot of data while indicating what each bit represents. After seeing hundreds of brainwaves of people thinking about something in particular, the AI will pretty reliably recognize the same pattern again. This is how scientists generated AI images from MRI brain scans. Even the most expensive commercial BCIs have to go through a lot of training and calibration before almost working. But of course, the technology doesn't stand still. New headsets are being developed, and the software gets better and better at reading brainwaves. Perhaps we're on the brink of BCI prosthetics becoming commonplace.
Only Electrolux has smart boot.
While superhuman arms are still one breakthrough in robotics away, BCI game controllers are just getting their first commercial releases. Perhaps in a generation or two, they'll be at least as ubiquitous as VR headsets. And in a slightly longer perspective, with all kinds of technology controlled through BCIs, keyboards and mouses will become as old school as typewriters and rotary dials. The vision of the future is quite exciting, but it also brings its own set of dangers.
Ready Player One? It's a good movie. I've seen it once, but I gotta see that again.
The first computer viruses appeared in the early 70s. By the mid-80s, they were rampant, and cyber attacks became a daily occurrence all across the world. But the concept of cybersecurity didn't exist.
Information is power, and when that power is made available through unguarded information, then it's a threat to all of us in society.
People had little understanding of how to guard themselves against this new threat.
Our major problem is to make sure that the security, that the electronic fences built in these systems keeps up with that technology and with the amount of assets that become exposed in these systems.
And it wasn't until the late 80s that the first antivirus software emerged. And now, we're on the brink of introducing a new technology, one that's going to interact directly with people's brains. Can the same mistakes be repeated again? Can we afford waiting for decades for the concept of mind security to emerge?
Anytime that something is digital, it can be copied, and it can potentially go out of your control. That creates an ethical risk that I think we need to deal with as soon as possible. This goes for your social media data, this goes for your emails, your text messages, everything that's on your phone, your location data, everything. BCI technology takes this to the next level, because the things that you've put on social media, you have at least in some way meant to make this information public. Your thoughts largely are not, and I would argue should not, be publicly available. If you cannot be alone in your own thoughts, you are no longer alone at all.
Autocratic governments use every chance they can to influence their citizens' decisions through large-scale cybernetic blockades. Others conduct elaborate spying operations under the guise of national security.
As long as they can dedicate people, money, and time to the target, they can get in.
Criminals exploit the ignorance and naivety of countless people to scam and rob them from across the world. And various threat actors pretend to be criminals, but are just puppets of their government, conducting cyber terrorism on its behalf. The cyber world is scary enough without computers being able to poke into our minds. And now, if we're not careful, it can become even scarier.
For me, I just don't give a fuck. Because what will happen will happen. It's Murphy's Law. You know, shit happens. And the way people want to know things and other people are injured, these things are coming. You know? And that means idiots will get a hold. So I guess whoever is in charge of this stuff's gonna have to, like you said, make some safety regulations and all these things, because it's one thing when your bank account gets hacked or your phone, your fucking car, you know. I don't want my brain to get hacked. You know? I don't want my thoughts in others' hands. It's not right. It's gonna force people into trying to think a different way, you know? That's why it's not cool. Because why shouldn't we be able to use it on people then? You know? We should be able to take these same machines and go to regular, like crime and shit, all that line on the stand and the nah. So a lot of things would be changing, right? Because shooting people down and lying about it on stand wouldn't be able to happen anymore, right? Because you have the camera footage, the people testifying what they seen, plus we're going to put the mind machine on them, right? You get it? Then we lie detectors test. And then we lock these people away forever. Right? All love, all praise.